my beloved, please don't ignore this. Because what I am about to whisper to you is not public. This is not a message for the crowd. This is a private moment between your spirit and my heart. A divine appointment arranged before the foundations of the world. And I need you to hear the reason. I saw something in you, exactly what I needed to see from you. When you thought no one was watching, you have carried a heavy question in the quiet chambers of your heart for months, wondering if your struggles have been in vain, or if my eyes have truly been upon the path you walk in the shadows. Hear me. At this very moment, the bustling activity of the celestial realms has fallen into a profound, expectant silence because of you. Imagine the vastness of the throne room, where myriads of angels cry out in eternal praise, suddenly coming to a standstill as I gestured for time to pause, for the scrolls of destiny to wait, and for every heavenly witness to look down upon the map of your life. They are not looking at your public triumphs or the moments you stood tall in the light of others' approval. They are gathered to witness the replay of a single, solitary moment you have spent nights weeping over. A moment you labeled as a devastating failure, but one that I have marked as the definitive key to your future. I saw you in that hour when you thought you were most alone, when the weight of the world felt like it was crushing the very breath from your lungs and you felt the stinging cold of isolation. You thought that because the breakthrough didn't manifest in the way you expected, it meant I had turned my face away. But in reality, that was the moment my presence was most concentrated around you. That is why this message is not public. The enemy would love to turn your secret pain into a public sentence, but I am turning it into a private promotion. I have stopped the sun and the moon in their tracks just to ensure this reaches you before the enemy can convince you to give up on the verge of your greatest shift. Before I reveal the 5 words I have spoken over your life to seal your victory, I want you to recognize this holy intersection where my path meets yours. Do not let this moment pass by as just another video in a digital stream. Mark this day as the beginning of your restoration. If your spirit knows this is for you, stay with me, stay close, and let your heart settle into agreement with what heaven is about to announce. There is a reason why the algorithm of the world failed to hide this from you. And it is because my spirit has overridden every natural law to bring us face to face in this digital sanctuary. You are the one for whom I have moved mountains and parted seas. And right now, the gates of heaven are swinging wide to pour out a revelation that will change the trajectory of your next 40 days. Before we go deeper into the mysteries of why I allowed the fire to get so hot, I want you to present your heart before my throne, quietly, sincerely, without performance. Because the silence of the throne room is for you, my precious one. Your story is the one heaven cannot stop replaying, and what I saw in you was exactly what I needed to see. My child, I have watched as the months have piled upon your shoulders like heavy stones, each one carrying a weight you were never meant to bear alone. I have seen the way your posture has changed under the gravity of expectations, and how the light in your eyes has dimmed behind a mask of "I'm okay." You have walked through a season where every step felt like moving through deep, thick mud, exhausting, draining, and seemingly endless. I was there in those silent mornings when you woke up feeling more tired than when you went to bed. Not because your body lacked sleep, but because your soul was weary from the constant battle of hope against what you could see. I saw you looking at the calendar with a heavy heart, counting the days of unanswered prayers and wondering if the heavens had turned to brass. I heard the sighs you exhaled when you thought no one was listening. Those deep, trembling breaths carrying the weight of 1,000 unspoken words. You have been trying to hold everything together. your family, your finances, your sanity, while feeling like the very fabric of your life was fraying at the edges. My precious one, your exhaustion is not a sign of weakness. It is proof of the pressure you have endured without surrendering your heart. I have counted every tear that soaked into your pillow, and you were never invisible to me. Not for a single moment. I saw you in those moments when you stood before the mirror, searching for a version of yourself that you haven't seen in a long time. You saw the shadows under your eyes and the lines of worry etched into your brow. But I saw the radiance of a spirit that refuses to stay down. You have tried so hard to be the anchor for everyone else, to be the one who has all the answers, the one who never falters. Yet inside, you were quietly begging for someone to anchor you. I saw you in the middle of a crowded room, smiling and nodding, while a storm of anxiety raged within your chest, making you feel like a ghost in your own life. I watched as you navigated the betrayal of those you trusted and the silence of those you expected to defend you. You have endured these whispering seasons, when the enemy tried to convince you that your best days are behind you and that this exhaustion is your new permanent state. But I am here to tell you the truth. The weight you have been carrying was not meant to crush you, but to crush the version of you that was too small for the destiny I have prepared. And this is what I needed to see from you. Even in your drought, you still tried to find water for others. I saw you push through the fatigue to be kind to a stranger, to offer a prayer for a friend, even when your own spirit was starving for comfort. That is the mark of the chosen, that you keep love in your hands when life has tried to empty you. Your heart has been stretched to its limits, but it has not snapped, because my grace has been the invisible thread holding you together when you thought you were falling apart. There were nights when the silence in your room was so loud it felt deafening, and you questioned if my promises were still valid for someone as broken as you felt. You wondered if you had somehow missed a turn, or if you were being punished for mistakes you thought were forgiven. Let me clear the air right now. You are not behind, and you are not being punished. You are being refined in a kiln that only the most resilient souls can withstand. This weariness you feel is the holy exhaustion that comes right before a supernatural second wind. I have watched you struggle to maintain your faith when the evidence around you suggested that faith was a fairy tale. I saw you clenching your teeth, refusing to speak words of defeat, even when defeat seemed like the only logical outcome. Your endurance has been a sweet incense rising to my throne, a fragrance of loyalty that moves the heart of God more than 1,000 songs of praise sung in easy times. You have been through the war of the months, a strategic attempt by darkness to wear you down until you simply stop believing. But look at you. You are still here. You are still listening. You are still seeking. This proves there is a fire inside you that the world did not give, and the world cannot take away. I am coming now to lift that weight, to exchange your heaviness for my garment of praise, and to remind you that the God who sees the sparrow has never once lost sight of his chosen child in the thick of the fog. I have mapped the geography of your sorrow, my child, with a precision that would overwhelm your mind if you truly understood it. I was there in the driver's seat of your parked car, that small metal sanctuary where you sat in the dark for an extra 20 minutes because you didn't have the strength to walk through the front door and pretend to be okay for your family. I saw the way you stared at the dashboard, the engine still warm, but your spirit feeling cold and hollow. You gripped the steering wheel so hard your knuckles turned white, holding back a scream that felt like it would shatter the glass. In that quiet space, between the world you face and the home you serve, you let the first tear fall. You thought you were hiding from the world, but you were wide open to me. That car was not just a vehicle. It was an altar where you sacrificed your pride and offered me your raw, unedited exhaustion. I saw you wipe your eyes, check the mirror to make sure the redness was gone, and put on the mask of strong before stepping out. But I stayed in that seat with you, collecting the fragments of your peace that you thought you had lost forever. Every mile you drove in silence was a mile I walked beside you. Then there is the geography of the 2 o'clock hour on your bathroom floor. I saw you there, leaning against the cold porcelain, the only place in the house with a lock that could keep the world out for a moment. I watched as you slumped down, the tiles chilling your skin, but the fire of your frustration burning in your chest. That floor has witnessed the prayers that had no words, only heaving sobs and the sound of your forehead resting against your knees. You felt small, you felt failed, and you felt like a hypocrite for having faith in the daylight while feeling such despair in the dark. But I tell you, those cold tiles were holy ground. While you were looking at the grout and the shadows, I was kneeling there with you, whispering to the atoms of your being that you would survive this. You thought that moment was your lowest point, but it was actually the foundation upon which I am building your new authority. The world sees your public victories, but I am obsessed with your private surrenders, for that is where the real you resides, and that is where my strength is made perfect in your absolute weakness. I have seen you at the edge, at the threshold of decisions that felt like life or death. I saw you standing in the doorway of your office, or perhaps at the entrance of a relationship, or on the brink of a dream, wondering if you should take one more step forward or turn around and run into the familiar comfort of nothingness. I saw the hesitation in your feet and the war in your mind. You felt like you were at the end of your rope, looking over the precipice into an abyss of uncertainty. You were so close to giving up, so close to saying, "This is as far as I go." But even in your hesitation, there was a spark of me. I was the one who gave you the strength to keep your foot planted when everything in you wanted to flee. I saw the geography of your doubt, the places in your home where the air feels heavy with the memory of arguments or the weight of bills you cannot pay. I was there in every corner, every shadow, and every threshold, making sure that while you felt like you were falling, you were actually being caught by the everlasting arms that have never let go of a single star, and will certainly never let go of you. Close your eyes for a moment, my beloved, and walk with me through the geography of your own life. Walk through the rooms of your house in your mind. Which room makes you want to walk faster? Where do you feel the ghost of your past failures lingering in the corners? That specific spot, the chair where you received the bad news, the hallway where you felt the sting of rejection. That is exactly where I am moving right now to perform a spiritual cleansing. I am rewriting the memories of those spaces. Where there was sorrow, there will be the fragrance of my comfort. Where there was a no, I am preparing a yes that will echo through the halls. I saw you when you thought you were invisible. And I am telling you now that the very places of your greatest pain are becoming the landmarks of your greatest promotion. Do not fear the geography of your past, for I have claimed every inch of it as my territory. I am turning your valley of trouble into a gateway of hope, and you will walk through those same doors again. But this time, you will walk with the stride of a conqueror, because you know that El Roy, the God who sees, was there all along, my chosen one. There is a name I want to etch into the very fabric of your spirit today. El Roy. It is the name discovered by a woman who felt discarded. A woman named Hagar, who wandered into the searing heat of the desert, convinced that her life had become a footnote in someone else's story. She was fleeing from a situation she couldn't control, feeling used, unloved, and entirely invisible to the world that had once promised her a place. But in the middle of that barren wasteland, At a well of water she didn't think she would find, she encountered me. She realized that while she had been running away from man, she was running directly into the gaze of the Almighty. She cried out in wonder, "You are the God who sees me." For she understood that I was not just observing her from a cold, distant throne, but I was looking upon her with a gaze of absolute understanding and fierce protection. You are in your own desert right now, feeling like the sands of time are burying your dreams and that your name has been forgotten by those who once called you friend. You feel invisible in your own home, invisible at your workplace, and invisible in the very prayers you send up to the ceiling. But I am here to tell you that you have never been more seen than you are in this very moment. You think you are invisible? No, my child. You are currently on the largest screen in the kingdom of heaven. Every angel, every witness, and I, your Father, have our eyes fixed upon you. While the world only looks at the finished product, the money you make, the status you hold, or the smile you show, I am the only one who sees the process. I see the unseen battles you fought this morning just to get out of bed. I see the moments you chose to be honest when it cost you everything. I see the silent strength it took to hold your tongue when you were being falsely accused. This is the effect of El Roy. I do not look at you from a distance. I look with the eyes of an artist watching a masterpiece being forged in the fire. I see not only where you are, but the magnificent person you are becoming through the struggle. The world's gaze is shallow and judgmental, but my gaze is deep, restorative, and full of an unconditional love that sees your scars as your most beautiful credentials. You are not a grain of sand lost in the ocean. You are a prized treasure that I have personally hidden away for a season of preparation. When I say I see you, I see the why behind your tears. I see the intentions behind your failures and the courage behind your smallest yes. You have felt a profound sense of isolation, a gnawing fear that your life is passing by without leaving a mark. But in the archives of heaven, every single moment of your endurance is being recorded with golden ink. You are not being ignored. You are being watched over with the intensity of a mother watching over a sleeping child. I am watching the way you handle the hidden season, for it is in the dark that your roots grow deep enough to support the massive blessing I am about to manifest in your life. The God who saw Hagar in her desperation is the same God who is looking into your eyes right now through these words. I am shifting your perspective from the loneliness of the desert to the intimacy of the well. I am El Roy, and I have never, not for a single microsecond, turned my eyes away from you. You are seen, you are known, and you are cherished beyond all measure. I want you to understand, my beloved, that there are 3 distinct levels of observation in this universe. And where you choose to seek your validation determines the height of the destiny you can reach. The first level is the most common, yet the most deceptive. Level 1 is the level of human recognition. This is the realm of the surface, the stage where people watch your performance and judge you based on what they can see with their physical eyes. It is the level of likes or of followers, and of the fleeting applause of men who only love you as long as you are useful to them. I have seen you exhausting yourself on this level, trying to manage the perceptions of others, trying to prove your worth to people who don't even know their own value. You must realize that human recognition is a shallow pool that can never quench the thirst of a chosen soul. If you live for their well done, you will die by their silence. I have allowed some of those human voices to grow quiet in your life recently, not to hurt you, but to detoxify you from the need for their approval. True spiritual promotion does not come from the hands of men. It comes from the throne of grace, and it requires you to step away from the mirror of public opinion. Beyond the noise of people lies Level 2. The level of evidence and material proof. This is the level where the world looks for results. The balance in your bank account, the titles on your business card, the physical evidence of your success. Many of my children get stuck here, believing that if they don't see the evidence, then I am not working. They think that if the harvest hasn't appeared, then the seed must be dead. But I tell you, evidence is often the last thing to manifest in a divine process. You have been looking at your lack and calling it a failure, while I have been looking at your lack and calling it a preparation. I do not give big assignments to small people, and I do not give heavy blessings to weak shoulders. Level 2 observation is about the tangible, but your calling is about the eternal. If you base your peace on the evidence of your current circumstances, you will be like a wave tossed by the sea, constantly rising and falling with the economy, your health, or your social standing. I have seen you frustrated because the level 2 evidence hasn't matched the level 1 effort you've put in. But that is because I am moving you toward a higher level of observation entirely. These first 2 levels are what the world calls reality, but they are actually the most fragile dimensions of existence. Human recognition can be withdrawn in a heartbeat, and material evidence can vanish like a vapor. I have allowed you to feel the emptiness of these levels so that you would stop trying to build your house on shifting sand. You were created for something far deeper than the recognition of your peers or the accumulation of evidence. You were created to be a citizen of the kingdom, where observation is an act of love, not a process of judgment. You have been feeling like a failure because by the world's standards, your current season looks like a delay or a denial. But in the economy of heaven, this is your qualifying moment. I am stripping away the crutches of level 1 and level 2 because I am preparing to introduce you to the only level of observation that truly matters, the one that triggers the supernatural shift you have been praying for. Do not be discouraged by the silence of men or the slowness of the evidence. I have intentionally closed the doors of human recognition to see if you would still worship in the dark. I have held back the material proof to see if you would still trust my word over your sight. This is your entrance exam, my precious one. You are being tested on whether you can handle the hidden season without falling into bitterness or despair. When you stop looking for your reflection in the eyes of others and stop searching for your worth in the numbers of the world, you become fireproof. You are becoming a person whose character matches the weight of the blessing I am about to release. Keep your heart pure and your eyes fixed on the invisible. For what is seen is temporary, but what is unseen is eternal. You are being moved to the final level of observation, where the real power resides. Now, my child, let us step into the highest court of existence, the dimension where your destiny is truly decided. Level 3, the realm of the divine witness. This is the level where human applause is silent and material evidence has not yet arrived. It is the sacred space where only I am watching. You have spent so much energy worried about who isn't seeing your hard work or who isn't acknowledging your sacrifices. But I tell you that the most important moments of your life are the ones that happened when the room was empty. Level 3 is where true character is forged. For character is not what you do on a stage before thousands. It is the choice you make when you think no one is looking. I saw you when you were treated unfairly and you chose not to retaliate, even though you had the perfect words to crush your opponent. I saw you give that last bit of money to someone in need when your own bank account was crying for mercy. I saw you pray for the very person who betrayed you, through tears of genuine pain. Those are the moments that have moved the needle of heaven. There is a word in the ancient scrolls of Psalm 139, the word sakan. It describes how I am intimately acquainted with all your ways. It means I have a detailed, microscopic diary of your life. I don't just know the big events. I have sakan, I have a recorded history of every time you chose integrity over ease, every time you chose kindness over bitterness, and every time you whispered my name when you felt like giving up. You felt invisible in those moments, didn't you? You felt like your goodness was falling into a void. But I was there, penning your story with the pride of a father. While the world was busy looking at those who screamed the loudest for attention, my gaze was fixed on the quiet excellence of your soul. I have seen the way you have honored me in the hidden season, and I want you to know that nothing has been lost. Every tear, every silent prayer, and every act of hidden faithfulness is a seed that has been planted in the fertile soil of the throne room. Level 3 witnesses are the angels who stand in awe of a human spirit that chooses to trust me when there is no logical reason to do so. They have watched you pass the test of the obscure, where you served a vision that wasn't yours and supported people who didn't thank you. You have been wondering why I haven't promoted you yet. But you must understand that the promotion has already happened in the spirit. You have already won the respect of the heavens. When you move through your day, I want you to walk with a different kind of confidence. You don't need to shout to be heard. You don't need to perform to be seen. You are already the center of my attention. The Sakhan diary of your life is being read aloud in the presence of the heavenly hosts, and your faithfulness in the dark has qualified you for a light that no man can extinguish. You are no longer living for an audience of many. You are living for the audience of one, and I am standing to give you a private ovation. Remember, my precious one, that the root grows in the dark so the tree can stand in the sun. Your level 3 season is coming to a close, and the fruit of your hidden faithfulness is about to become visible to all. But never forget that it was in the silence, in the Sakhan moments, where the true victory was won. You have proven that you can handle the responsibility of being seen by billions because you were faithful when you were only seen by me. The heavens are no longer silent about you. They are shouting your name, preparing the way for a manifestation that will leave the world in awe of the God who sees in secret and rewards openly. Stay steady in this secret place, for this is where my power and your potential have finally become one. My beloved, people have spent years trying to summarize you based on a few chapters of your life. They see the surface, the mistakes you've made, the financial struggles you face, or the way you look when you're tired and worn down by the world's demands. But I want to introduce you to the concept of the Raha vision. In the ancient scrolls, it is written that man looks at the outward appearance, but I look at the heart. The word used there for look is Raha. It is not a casual glance or a passing observation. In the heavenly language, Raha means to see through, to study meticulously, and to discern the true essence of a thing. While the world sees a failure, my Raha vision sees a warrior in training. While others see a person who has lost their way, I see a pilgrim who is being rerouted for a greater purpose. I am not judging you by the suit of armor you wear or the titles you carry. I am looking at the substance of your spirit. I am studying the way your heart beats for justice, the way you ache for love, and the way you refuse to let go of the hem of my garment, even when you feel like you're drowning. You are not a mystery to me. You are a book I have read 1,000 times, and I love every word on every page of your story. To have the Raha vision upon you means that you are under the divine microscope of grace. I am not looking for perfection. I am looking for Raha, a heart that is turned toward me despite the flaws. Think about the shepherd boy, David. His own father didn't even think he was worth bringing to the lineup when the prophet came to town to anoint a king. To his family, he was just a boy with sheep, the youngest, the least likely. But my Raha vision saw a king in the wilderness. It saw the courage he had when he fought the lion and the bear in the secret of the shadows where no one was cheering. I am doing the same with you right now. I am ignoring what the experts say about your potential. I am ignoring the labels your enemies have tried to stick on your back to hold you down. I am looking deeper than the scars and the failures. I see the nights you spent on your knees, not asking for money or fame, but simply asking for peace and for the strength to keep going. I see the times you gave your last ounce of energy to help someone else, never expecting a thank you. That is what the Raha vision captures. The beauty that human eyes are too blind to notice. If you feel like you are being overlooked by the world, take heart. For being overlooked by man is often the first step to being handpicked by God. This revelation is a call to a higher state of being. You are beginning to realize that you are not who they say you are. You are who I see you are. This is the moment of your true identity emerging from the cocoon of struggle. If you feel the weight of this truth shifting something in your soul, do not stay silent. Subscribe to this channel right now and step into this family of believers who are coming out of the shadows and into their divine purpose. And if this message has strengthened your spirit today, you can support this work by sending a super thanks. Your gift is a seed that helps this voice reach the ones who feel unseen, and it becomes part of the testimony God is writing through this ministry. Do not let the enemy tell you that you are just another viewer. You are a son, a daughter, a co-heir to the kingdom, and heaven honors every act of faith that helps carry this word forward. My Raha vision is your ultimate protection. Because I see the heart, I can navigate you through the traps that others would fall into blindly. I can see the wolf in sheep's clothing before they ever reach your doorstep. I can see the golden opportunity that looks like a burden to everyone else. When you live under my Raha gaze, you no longer have to live in fear of being misunderstood or misrepresented. If I am for you, and I see the truth of your heart, then it doesn't matter who is against you or who misinterprets your intentions to suit their own agenda. I am your vindicator. I am your defender. I am the one who will bring your righteousness to light, like the noonday sun. You have been hiding your heart because it has been bruised and broken. But I am asking you to open it to me today. Let my Raha vision wash over the wounds and the secret shames you carry. Let me show you the gold I have placed within you that you haven't even noticed yet. You are becoming a vessel of honor, and the Raha vision is the light that will guide you into the next 40 days of your supernatural transformation. Your hidden season is not a waste. It is your crowning moment in my eyes. My child, the world has lied to you about what it means to be strong. They tell you that strength is a stone face that never cracks, a voice that never trembles, and a heart that never breaks. They celebrate the one who stands tall in the public eye, unaffected by the storms. But I tell you that in the eyes of heaven, your greatest strength was not found when you performed your duties perfectly before the crowd. It was not found in your loudest amen or your most confident walk. My heart was moved the most, not by your public resilience, but by your private surrender. I was waiting for that moment just days ago, when you finally hit the floor and admitted, "Father, I cannot do this anymore." The world calls that a breakdown, but I call it a breakthrough. When you finally stop trying to be the hero of your own story, you allow me to take my rightful place as the author and finisher of your faith. Your I can't is the divine invitation I have been waiting for to release my I can. Think of the young shepherd David when he stood before the giant Goliath. King Saul tried to clothe him in heavy bronze armor and a sword that wasn't his. David tried to walk in it, but he realized he couldn't move with the fluidity of his true calling. He had the courage to say, "I cannot go in these, because I am not used to them." He chose to take off the king's armor, the armor of expectation, the armor of how things should look, and go out with only his sling and his identity as my child. You have been trying to wear Saul's armor for too long, my precious one. You've been trying to wear the armor of the perfect provider, the successful professional, or the person who has it all figured out. That armor is heavy. It's chafing your soul, and it's keeping you from moving in the power of my spirit. I am asking you to lay down the heavy weights that don't belong to you. The victory over your giants is not won by looking strong. It is won by being authentic to who I made you to be in the secret place. I saw you those nights when you thought you had to perform for me, even in your prayers. You used the right words and tried to sound holy, but my spirit was whispering, "Just talk to me." I am not impressed by your public strength. I am captivated by your private tears. I saw you when the exhaustion finally won, and you let the truth of your pain pour out without a filter. You thought you were failing me because you weren't rejoicing always, but in truth, you were finally being real with me. That surrender was the most powerful thing you've done all year. It was the moment you stepped out of the performance and into the relationship. You are most powerful when you are most dependent on me. When you admit your hands are empty, I can finally fill them with the blessings that no human effort could ever earn. The true power you seek is found in the depths of your humility, not the height of your pride. Do not be ashamed of the moments you felt weak, for those were the moments you were most surrounded by my glory. If you are ready to take off the heavy armor of the world and walk in the light of my truth, then remember this. Real victory is won on your knees before it is ever seen on the battlefield. You no longer need to pretend to be strong, because my strength is more than enough for you. You are being moved from the exhausting world of performance into the life-giving world of presence. And as you agree with heaven in the quiet of your heart, watch how I begin to fight the battles you thought you had to face alone. Your public life is merely the shadow cast by your private relationship with me. If you want the shadow to change, you must change the posture of your heart. Stop trying to prove yourself to a world that will never be satisfied. I am already satisfied with you. I already love you with an everlasting love that has nothing to do with your achievements and everything to do with your existence. The weight you feel is the pressure to be something you weren't meant to be. Let it go. Release the Saul's armor of your life today. As you step into these next 40 days, I am training you to fight with the weapons of the Spirit: vulnerability, truth, and radical trust. This is the paradoxical way of the kingdom. To go up, you must go down. To be strong, you must be weak. And to find your life, you must be willing to lose it in me. Your private surrender has been noted, and your public promotion is already in motion. I want to take you back to a specific time that remains etched in the archives of heaven, the 2 a.m. hour when the rest of the world was draped in slumber. But you were wide awake, caught in the grip of a silent storm. I saw you sitting there, perhaps on the edge of your bed or pacing the small confines of your room, the only sound being the rhythmic ticking of a clock that seemed to mock the stillness of your progress. You felt a weight that was no longer just emotional. It had become physical, a heavy pressure on your chest that made every breath feel like a conscious effort. You had spent the day being everything to everyone, holding up the crumbling walls of your life with nothing but sheer will. But in that lonely hour, the will finally gave out. Your mind was a kaleidoscope of what-ifs and why-me's, and the darkness felt like it was closing in, whispering that this was your permanent reality. I saw you drop your head into your hands, the shadows stretching long across the floor. And in that moment, the facade of the warrior finally dissolved into the truth of a tired child. In that profound silence, you didn't offer a polished prayer. You didn't recite scriptures or try to negotiate with me for a way out. Instead, you let out a ragged sigh that carried more weight than 1,000 sermons. And you whispered 6 words that changed everything. I can't do this anymore, God. You thought those words were the white flag of your defeat. You felt a deep sense of shame, believing that a person of faith should never reach such a point of total depletion. You expected me to be disappointed, perhaps even to turn away because your strength had failed. But I want you to know the secret of the throne room. That whisper was the most powerful thing you have ever said. It wasn't a prayer in the traditional sense, but it was the ultimate truth. And in my kingdom, truth is the only language that moves the hand of the Father. While you were apologizing for your weakness, all of heaven was leaning in. For you had finally reached the end of yourself, which is the exact coordinate where my supernatural intervention begins. That 2 a.m. moment was not a collapse. It was a transition. It was the moment you stopped trying to build a kingdom with your own strength and finally admitted that the foundation was too heavy for human hands. I saw the relief that followed that admission, even though it was wrapped in tears. By saying I can't, you were finally giving me permission to say I will. You broke the contract you had signed with your own ego, the one that demanded you be perfect and self-sufficient. That moment is being replayed in heaven because it represents your qualifying moment. You showed me that even when you are stripped of your confidence and your energy, you do not run away from me. You fall toward me. You didn't quit the journey, you just quit the performance. This is the moment I am using to pivot your entire destiny. The world sees someone who gave up, but I see someone who finally woke up to the reality of my grace. Your surrender has echoed through the corridors of eternity, and the response has already been dispatched. You might not see the legions of angels being moved into position yet, or the doors being unlocked in the invisible realm. But I promise you, the 2 a.m. moment was the catalyst for the shift you are about to experience. I am taking that exhaustion and turning it into a holy vacuum that I am about to fill with my power. You are no longer under the obligation to make it happen. You are now under the covenant of let it be done. The weight you dropped on that floor at 2 a.m. is a weight you will never have to pick up again. I have taken it from you, and in its place, I am giving you a garment of light. You are being prepared for a 40-day window where the impossible will become your daily bread. All because you had the courage to be honest about your limits in the dark. My precious one, the enemy is a master of confusion, and he has been trying to convince you that because your strength failed, your character failed. He wants you to believe that the exhaustion you feel is the same thing as a lack of faith. But I am here to clarify the divine distinction between quitting and surrendering. Quitting is an act of the ego. It is a turning away from the light because the shadow has become too uncomfortable. When someone quits, they disconnect from the source, they walk away from the altar, and they choose the path of least resistance over the path of destiny. But I have watched you through every dark night of this soul-wrenching season, and I testify before the hosts of heaven. You did not quit. Even when you felt like you were drowning, you kept reaching for my hand. Even when you were silent, you were staying in my presence. Quitting is a departure, but surrendering is a deepening. You didn't walk out on the mission. You simply stopped trying to carry the mission on your own bruised shoulders. This is the moment your soul finally recognized its need for the Creator. And that recognition is the birth of true authority. Surrender is not the white flag of defeat. It is the invitation for my sovereignty to manifest in your reality. It is the moment you stop the performance of faith and enter into the power of faith. I saw you trying so hard to keep the act going, to keep the smile fixed and the prayers sounding like they came from a heart that wasn't breaking. You were acting as the director, the actor, and the stagehand of your own spiritual life. And you were exhausted because you were never meant to play all those roles. When you finally slumped against the wall and admitted you had nothing left, you didn't fail. You finally became honest. You stopped the theater. You stopped pretending that you could handle the pressure, the grief, and the uncertainty on your own. In that honesty, you created a vacuum that my Holy Spirit is now rushing to fill. I can only fill what is empty. I can only heal what is exposed. I can only carry what has been laid down. Your surrender was not you giving up on me. It was you giving up on the illusion that you could survive without me. It was the most beautiful act of worship you have ever offered. For it was an offering of your absolute truth. I want you to understand that I do not give my greatest assignments to those who are self-made, but to those who are God-dependent. The world rewards the self-sufficient, but the kingdom rewards the surrendered. This is why your current season has felt like such a struggle. I was bringing you to the end of your own resources so that you could finally tap into mine. You are transitioning from the labor of your own hands to the favor of my hands. If you can feel the truth of this word vibrating in your spirit, then hold it close and let it settle deep within you. Your allegiance is being refined. Your trust is being strengthened. And your surrender is becoming the doorway to my power. Your I can't has cleared the way for my I will, and the next 40 days will be a testimony to what happens when a chosen child finally stops acting and starts trusting. You are moving into a season where the effort will be replaced by an easy yoke and a light burden. This does not mean there won't be work to do, but it means the power for the work will come from within, not from your own willpower. I am breathing new life into the areas that died during your striving. I am resurrecting the dreams that you thought were lost in your exhaustion. You have passed the most difficult test of the chosen, the test of the broken spirit. You didn't quit when the fire got hot. You just allowed the fire to consume the flesh of your self-effort. Now, only the gold remains. Walk with me into this next chapter with your head held high. Not because of what you have done, but because of who is doing the work through you. The distinction between quitting and surrendering is the difference between a life of wandering and a life of arriving. You have arrived at the gates of my grace, and they are swinging wide just for you. My child, let me reveal to you one of the greatest mysteries of the kingdom, the paradox of power. You have spent your life fleeing from your weaknesses, hiding your cracks, and apologizing for the parts of you that feel insufficient. But in my economy, your weakness is not a liability. It is an asset. It is the very canvas upon which I paint my glory. Remember the words I spoke to the apostle when he begged me to remove his thorn. My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. I want you to look closely at that word perfect. In the original language of the Spirit, it is the word telo, which means to be completed, to reach its full intended purpose, or to be brought to a finished state. It implies that without your weakness, my power remains incomplete in your life. Your not enough is the exact measurement needed to hold the more than enough of my presence. You thought your brokenness was preventing me from using you. But the truth is that your brokenness is exactly what allows my light to shine through you with such piercing clarity. I have seen you trying to glue the pieces of your life back together, hoping to present me with a perfect vessel. But I am not looking for a vessel that is flawless. I am looking for a vessel that is available. Think of a stained glass window. It is the cracks and the divisions between the colors that create the image. If it were one solid, unbroken sheet of glass, the light would pass through it. But there would be no story, no beauty, no definition. Your struggles, your tears, and the moments you felt most inadequate are the leaded lines that define the masterpiece I am making of your life. When you reach the end of your strength, you don't fall into a void. You fall into the fullness of mine. I saw you in that hidden moment of failure, and I wasn't shaking my head in disappointment. I was whispering, "Now, my child. Now the space is ready for Tello. Now my power can be completed in you. You are not being punished through your limitations. You are being positioned for a level of authority that only the humble can carry. This is the revelation that the world cannot understand, for it only values the strong and the loud. But you are part of a different lineage, a lineage of those who have found strength in the surrender. If you feel the weight of this television moving in your heart, do not let this revelation remain a passing thought. Let it become a foundation in you, steady, quiet, unshakable, so that you live from a new place of confidence, not in your own might, but in the Spirit of the living God. This understanding is an anchor in your 40-day shift, ensuring that you remain connected to the stream of my grace as the blessing begins to manifest. I want you to change the way you speak about yourself. Instead of saying, "I am tired," I want you to say, "I am a candidate for my Father's strength." Instead of saying, "I am broken," say, "I am being completed by the Tello of God." Your words are like seeds, and when you speak from your weakness with a posture of trust, you are planting the harvest of your future victory. The enemy wants you to focus on the hole in your life, but I want you to focus on the Holy One who fills the hole. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are the setting for a miracle. In these next 40 days, you will see that the areas where you felt most vulnerable are the very areas where I will display my greatest power. People will look at your life and wonder how someone who went through what you went through can stand with such peace and authority. The answer will be simple. Your weakness made room for my Tello. You are becoming fireproof, not because you avoided the fire, but because you walked through it and found that the fourth man was already there, holding you in a strength that is not your own. My child, let us look at the blueprint of your soul's testing through a lens you have never considered: the dignity preservation matrix. I have observed the 4 different ways my children react when the fire of life reaches its peak intensity. Some allow the heat to consume their faith, turning away in bitterness. Others allow the pressure to crush their minds, descending into a spiral of hopeless confusion. A third group keeps their faith, but loses their joy, becoming hollow shells of religious duty. But you, my precious one, have entered the 4th and rarest category. You are in the matrix of dignity. This is the sacred space where the fire has consumed the external ornaments of your life. The wood, the hay, and the stubble of your previous security. Yet the gold of your character remains untouched beneath the ashes. I have watched you as your bank account dwindled, as your reputation was whispered against, and as the people you once relied on vanished into the shadows. I saw you stripped of every human comfort, yet you refused to trade your integrity for a quick escape. You kept your dignity when the world gave you every reason to become a victim. Think of my servant Job. He was a man of great substance, a pillar of his community. But in a single day, the geography of his life was leveled to the dust. I watched from the throne room as messenger after messenger brought news of total devastation. I saw the moment he stood up, his heart breaking in a way that no words could describe. I saw him tear his robe and shave his head, the ancient signs of a grief so deep it reached the very marrow of his bones. Yet, in that state of total nakedness, on the ash heap of his previous existence, he did not sin by charging me with wrongdoing. He fell to the ground and he worshipped. He understood the dignity preservation matrix better than anyone. The profound truth that you can lose what you have without ever losing who you are in me. I see you in that same posture right now. You have been mourning the loss of seasons and the departure of people you thought would be with you until the end. But even in your deepest sorrow, you have stayed naked and honest before my throne. You haven't hidden your pain behind a mask of fake piety, nor have you sold your soul to the enemy's whispers for a moment of relief. The enemy miscalculated the depth of the work I have done within you. He thought that by taking away your comfort, he would take away your character. He believed that if he squeezed you hard enough with financial lack, emotional isolation, or physical weariness, a hidden version of you, one full of resentment and doubt, would finally emerge and curse the heavens. But instead of bitterness, he found a deeper well of prayer. Instead of resentment, he found a quiet, stubborn resilience that refused to let go of the hem of my garment. This is the beauty of the Matrix. You have maintained the quality of your spirit even when the quantity of your resources was diminished to zero. You are like the holy incense of the temple that only releases its sweetest, most potent fragrance when it is crushed and subjected to the flame. I have watched you maintain your kindness towards strangers even when your own heart was bleeding. I have watched you keep your word even when it was inconvenient and costly. You are being marked as an incorruptible steward, one who can be trusted with the much of the kingdom because you were found faithful in the nothing of the wilderness. Because you have preserved your dignity in this season of stripping, I am now moving to activate the laws of restoration. In the economy of heaven, the moment you prove that a trial cannot change the essence of your heart is the moment that trial loses its legal right to exist in your life. You have reached that point of completion. The lessons of the furnace are finalized. I am moving you now from the ash heap to the place of double favor, just as I restored to Job twice as much as he had before. I am preparing a manifest restoration for you that will make the years of the locust feel like a fleeting shadow. But remember, the greatest treasure you take out of this fire is not the new blessings or the open doors. It is the indestructible person you became when you had nothing else to lean on but me. You are now a carrier of a heavy, authentic glory that would have crushed the person you were a year ago. Stand tall, my chosen one, and look toward the horizon. Your character has passed the ultimate test of the Matrix, and the next 40 days will show the world why I was so silent while I watched you win. My beloved, look toward the horizon of your spirit, for the atmosphere around you is beginning to vibrate with the frequency of a new beginning. I am declaring over you right now a 40-day window of divine transition, a sacred interval where the old structures of your life will dissolve to make room for the weight of the glory I am about to manifest. The number 40 is not a random count in my kingdom. It is the measurement of a complete cycle of testing and the birth of a new authority. Just as I rained upon the earth for 40 days to cleanse it, and just as my son walked the wilderness for 40 days to overcome the tempter, you have finished your period of preparation. The next 40 days are not about you working harder. They are about you watching me work. I am moving the pieces on the chessboard of your life that you couldn't even reach. I am speaking to the hearts of people you haven't met yet, and I am unlocking gates that have been rusted shut for generations. This shift is not a gradual incline. It is a supernatural pivot that will leave you breathless at the speed of my grace. However, I must warn you, for the enemy knows that his time is short. During the first 14 days of this shift, you will encounter the performance trap. The whisper will come, louder than before, telling you that you must do something to earn this breakthrough. It will try to lure you back into the exhaustion of your own strength, suggesting that if you aren't striving, then nothing is happening. You will feel a sudden urge to prove your worthiness, to fix things with your own hands, and to shout your importance to those who ignored you. Do not take the bait. Your strength in this season is found in your stillness. When the pressure to perform rises, I want you to lean back into the memory of your 2 a.m. surrender. Remember that the door is opening because of who I am, not because of how perfect you are. Your only assignment is to remain in a posture of radical gratitude. If you can stay in peace during the first 2 weeks, you will see the momentum shift into an unstoppable force by day 21. As you move through this 40-day cycle, I am conferring upon you a gift the world cannot understand: invisible authority. This is the power that does not need a title to be recognized or a microphone to be heard. It is the aura of the Spirit that walks into a room before you do. You will find that situations which used to intimidate you now bow to the peace you carry. People who once looked down on you will feel an inexplicable urge to assist you. You are being promoted in the invisible realm, and the physical world has no choice but to align with that decree. I am opening doors that didn't even exist yesterday. Opportunities that were not on your radar and connections that seemed impossible. You are no longer fighting for victory. You are walking from a place of victory. This shift is the reward for your dignity in the fire and your faithfulness in the shadows. Do not stay silent while the heavens prepare this feast for you. If you believe I am breaking your chains and shifting your reality right now, let this moment become an inner agreement with my decree. I have watched you endure the silence, but now I am calling for your voice, not as a performance, but as a quiet alignment of the heart. Do not let the enemy's lies steal the oxygen from your miracle. Stand firm in this truth. You have moved from the waiting room into the throne room, and your faith is shattering the last remnants of delay. You are not just a viewer of this message. You are the subject of this prophecy. The clock has started. The shift is in motion. And in 40 days, the person who began this video will be a distant memory compared to the one who will stand in the light of the fulfilled promise. My beloved, the atmosphere has shifted. We are no longer just sharing a message. We are entering into a sacred transaction between your spirit and my heart. I want you to take a deep, slow breath right now and feel the weight of my presence settling in the room where you sit, as if the very air has grown thick with my glory. I am reaching out to you, not with a hand of judgment, but with a hand of absolute restoration. I am placing my thumb upon the center of your forehead and my palm upon the aching center of your chest. I am sealing every truth you have heard today into the very marrow of your bones so that the enemy cannot snatch it away the moment you turn off this screen. I am cauterizing the wounds of your hidden season so they no longer bleed into your future. Every word of doubt, every whisper of shame, and every label of failure that has been stuck to your spirit is being dissolved right now by the fire of my love. I am marking you as redeemed, as qualified, and as mine. This is the moment where your old identity is buried and your new authority is birthed. I speak directly to the shame that has tried to keep your head bowed for so many months. I command it to break and fall to the dust like dry clay. You have carried the burden of your mistakes and the weight of your perceived inadequacies for too long. But I tell you, I have already washed them in the blood that speaks a better word than guilt. I am sealing your mind against the performance trap and the comparison game. You do not need to look to the left or to the right to see how others are running their race. You only need to look into my eyes and see your reflection there. I have seen you, my child. I have seen the nights you thought you were invisible. And I am here to tell you that you were the focus of my entire kingdom. I have seen the quiet integrity you maintained when no one was watching. I have seen the way you loved those who were unlovable, even when you felt unloved yourself. And today, I am issuing a decree of approval from the highest court of heaven. You are not just accepted, you are celebrated. I am sealing your finances, your health, and your family under the shadow of my wings. I am setting a guard at the door of your heart, so that no weapon formed against you shall prosper. You are no longer a victim of circumstances. You are a victor by my design. This seal is eternal and it is unbreakable. I am writing my name upon your spirit with the ink of grace that never fades and never runs. You have been seen. You have been known. You have been approved. The delay you experienced was not a denial. It was a divine shielding, and that shield is now being transformed into a platform. I am sealing the 40-day shift into your life, ensuring that every open door remains open and every closed path remains closed to protect you. No spirit of lack, no spirit of heaviness, and no spirit of anxiety can cross the boundary I am drawing around you today. You are now a carrier of my invisible authority. As you walk through these next 40 days, remember this feeling of being completely known and yet completely loved. This is your anchor. This is your foundation. The moment you believe this, the seal is tightened. The moment you speak it, the seal is activated. You are my masterpiece, and the replay of your victory is just beginning. Now, my child, it is time to finalize this spiritual contract. Do not leave this holy space without locking this blessing into your reality. Seal this prophecy now and forever. Do not let the thief steal the seed that has been planted in your heart today. Let this be sealed in you, locked in your spirit, anchored in your faith, and established in your daily walk. The old season is dead and the new season is yours. Seal it with your heart and seal it with your faith. It is finished. It is decided. It is done, my beloved chosen one. The time for weeping is over, and the hour of your activation has arrived. I want you to hear these words, not just as ancient text, but as a living decree issued from my throne to your heart. Do not fear, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by your name. You are mine. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. And when you pass through the rivers, they will not sweep over you. When you walk through the fire, you will not be burned. The flames will not set you ablaze. You are not just a face in the crowd or a number in an algorithm. You are a living, breathing testimony of my faithfulness. I am breathing into you the Ruach, the holy breath of life, to awaken every dormant dream and every silenced song within your soul. You are now being deployed as a light in the darkness, a voice for the voiceless, and a vessel of my unshakable peace. The world may have tried to define you by your scars, but I am defining you by your stars. You are no longer hidden, you are being revealed. As you step away from this message and into the flow of your daily life, carry this activation with you like a burning coal in your spirit. The 40-day shift has officially begun from the very second you heard these words. Every step you take from this moment forward is a step ordered by me. You will find that the weight you once carried has been replaced by wings. I am sending you out, not in your own strength, which you have seen is finite, but in the power of my endless grace. Go forth with the confidence of one who has been seen by the Creator of the universe. When you speak, speak with authority. When you work, work with excellence. When you rest, rest in my total approval. I am not sending you out alone. I am walking before you to make the crooked places straight and behind you to be your rear guard. You have passed the qualifying moment, and now you are entering the manifesting moment. This is your time to shine, for the glory of the Lord has risen upon you. This is the final moment of our dialogue for today, but it is the first moment of your new life. To activate this miracle and signal your readiness to the heavenly hosts, I have one final request of faith. Do not let the enemy silence the miracle that has just occurred in your spirit. Type 1 was seen in the comments right now, to trigger the final release of this prophecy. By writing these words, you are confirming that you have transitioned from being overlooked to being chosen. And as you embark on this 40-day journey of transformation, I invite you to join this family of believers. Press the like button one last time and subscribe to this channel to ensure you never miss a step of the path I am laying out for you. We are walking together into a future where the impossible is ordinary and the miraculous is your daily bread. Welcome home, my child. The world is waiting to see what I've done in you. Amen and amen.